Well, it always gets better with the Bowl, Joe Finnegan and Shannonside Northern Sound. It's becoming very, very obvious from everything that there is a rump of people in Roscommon and Leitrim who are lefty, socialist, globalist, diversity, equity and inclusion, people appointed as airline pilots because they're either women or because they're gay or because they're transgender, and then to the exclusion of people who are normal in their sexual orientation or just in their lives. They're put out and these ones are put in. We'll see how far he'll fly on the plane when there's two of them. One black lesbian and one black female lesbian and one black or brown, we'll say Oriental or Chinese male transgender pilot, and let him off with them. We'll see how far he'll go. Very easy being flahoolach with other people's well-being and safety. This is the kind of a thing that's been pushed around. Anyway, he was on this morning and he says Trump's a bully and the Europeans won't let Trump bully them, and I presume Joe is going to join the war effort, get up a big rifle and a bayonet and a backpack, and he's going to plough through the Ukraine. Off you go, Joe. I'd even give you 20 euros myself if I knew you'd actually make it out there. So this is the stuff. But it's very clear that Joe Finnegan is an agent for the left-wing globalists. Now, do you remember there was a Mise Eire concert for Drumshanbo, and it was cancelled when enough left-wing socialist globalists put pressure to get it stopped. And now it's moving to Castlebar, and I believe it's going to be held in Castlebar, and the people of Mayo, some of them, are up in arms. Now, I've no doubt the vast majority of Mayo people are conservatives like me. Well, not the there'd be 60%. Now, don't forget they voted for Enda Kenny, one of the worst Irish prime ministers we ever had. A total and utter dope. That's all he was. And indeed, he left nothing any better after him either. So that's the first thing. So there is a lot of woke people over in the west of Ireland. And I want to say to you one thing. You're traitors. That's all you are. You'd rather have a rapist criminal of another religion than Christianity living next door to you and running the guards, the army, the courts than you would an Irish person. You're a crowd of old traitors, and nobody should listen to them. I think the Committee of Mise Eire, which is an Irish traditional body interested in our tradition and our culture here in Ireland, and nobody is objecting to them from any reasonable viewpoint. But of course, the pro-Obama, the pro-Biden, the pro-Nancy Pelosi, they're all over there and they're listening to this, and they're totally informed by RTE and the likes of Joe Finnegan, and no doubt there's some left-wing radio programme over there as well. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I don't think I'll make it. It's a long way over, but we should support that event in Mayo. You could find local bed and breakfasts won't take people. You need to inquire, have they any objection before you need to find if there's any objection before you depend on them to keep you. I tell them you're going to it and make sure you have your place, or else that stay elsewhere a bit and motor into it and go to it and give it support. Now, some of the people that have complained about is Christy Moore. You know, this is the fella, Christy Moore. So who the hell is Christy Moore? Who is Christy Moore? He's a left-wing communist socialist who loves the left-wing, loves the globalist, hates Trump. I heard him on the radio myself saying he loves American music, but he hates the American way of life. And what is he making his living out of? Only music. Who are the people who come up with the music all communists? Is Dolly Parton a communist? No. Was Chris Christopherson a communist? No. Is Bob Dylan a communist? Well, he'd be middle of the road, but he's not a communist. Was Elvis Presley one? Elvis Presley sang the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which is an American nationalist song. So he's a hypocrite as well. There's a few other of them named there. We'll deal with them more. But who the hell are they? The Irish woke left and a few musicians. There was a concert in Dublin on the weekend with Oasis. I don't think they're communists at all. I think they just rattle out there, and that's it. They're Irish ancestry. So it's a war, as I said. It's a war. Is there anyone in Mayo that feels strongly against this concert that'll contact me? I want to interview you. I'd love to get over. I wear good boots, and if there's a protest, go in among them. And when there's women with sandals, walk on their toes. That's what I did outside the Dáil in Dublin. I made out I was one of them, and I shouted, "Go home!" And I started banging on their toes. I had them all sore toes. Great idea, great idea. And of course, you see nothing. You know what? You didn't know it was anybody. Oh, sorry, yeah. That's it. So, right, we'll see what they'll do. We'll see what they'll do at the gig. Now, the other thing Joe Finnegan was all about this morning, he had a seller of heat pumps on, and I've made it clear they're a scam. They do heat the house a bit. When the electricity went off this year, they were no good. People had to get out of their houses. He never asked them a relevant question. And he said, "Oh, well, the heat pumps will get rid of fossil fuel." What a ridiculous, ignoramus thing to say. And it says something of our country when you can't get anyone to uphold an appeal against such a false statement. They run on fossil fuel, coal, oil and gas, 56 lorry loads of diesel oil a day to run them. So there he goes again, pushing this old narrative. Why are people listening to them? And I know farmers milking the cows and that do listen to them on the radio. Turn it off and get something else there, or use the internet or something. Unfortunately, the problem with the radio, with the internet, is there's ads, and you have to actually stop them. Whereas if you have RTE, you just get one or two ads on, and it's not too long. So they have, hopefully that will improve. So the Bowl Joe Finnegan will not stop. He has a cohort of people, but I would say that in Ireland the fact is, when there was a referendum on the status of women in the home, and a referendum on the marriage, wanting to make all marriages the same, irrespective of what gender they were, the people rejected it 71.8%, despite Joe Finnegan. So he's a left-wing, semi-communist, globalist, diversity, equity and inclusion, Lubderman. He hated cut and turf and an old traditional pursuit because he wouldn't work on batteries. That's why he got a handy job, and he's doing the job that he's put there, sponsored by Airgrid, the biggest con artist people in the country. And by the way, it was on the radio as well today that they're building an interconnector between France and Ireland. No strategic environmental assessment carried out on it, none whatsoever, and we're going to export all our wind energy to France. So why are we looking after France's interest and not our own? Because the Irish government and the Irish people vote for a government that wants to have the highest electricity prices in the world, with heading towards a third of the people unable to pay their bills in order to supply France. You couldn't make this stuff up. So, Joe, I'm always available to come on your show, anytime you want. Oh, never a problem there. But that won't happen. Why? Because your whole radio station is one massive lie, one massive spin doctoring affair. The fact is, Donald Trump is trying. He'll make mistakes. He's dealing with a difficult problem. And if you are not happy with the Russian situation, you get on and go over and fight for them yourselves. I'm staying at home, and I don't want my children or grandchildren or anyone belonging to me involved in a war over there in Eastern Europe. I'm Irish. I want Ireland put first. Now, let's hear you on that. Thank you very much. Bye.